Imagine that everyone is enlightened except you. This strategy gives you a chance to practice something that is probably completely unacceptable to you. However, if you give it a try, you might find that is one of the most helpful exercise in self-improvement. As the title suggests, the idea is to imagine that everyone you know and everyone you meet is perfectly enlightened. That is everyone except you. The people you meet are all here to teach you something. Perhaps the obnoxious driver or disrespecting teenager is here to teach you about patience. The punk rocker might be here to teach you to be less judgmental. Your job is to try to determine what the people is in your life are trying to teach you. You will find that if you do this, you will be far less annoyed, bothered, and frustrated by actions and imperfection of other people. You can actually get yourself in a habit of approaching life in this manner. And if you do, you will be glad you did. Often, once you discover that someone is trying to teach you, it is easy to let go of your frustration. For example, suppose you are in the post office and postal clerk appears to be intentionally moving slowly. Rather than feeling frustrated, ask yourself the question, what is he trying to teach me? Maybe you need to learn about compassion, how hard it would be to have a job that you don't like. Or perhaps you could learn a little more about being patient. Standing in a line is an excellent opportunity to break your habit of feeling impatient. You may be surprised at how fun and easy this is. All you're all you're really doing is changing your perception from why are they doing this to what are they trying to teach me. Take a look around today and all the enlightened people. Number 12. Let others be right most of the time. One of the most important questions you can ever ask yourself is, do I want to be right or do I want to be happy? Many times that two are mutual exclusive. Being right, defending our position takes an enormous amount of mental energy and often alienates us from the people in our lives. Needing to be right or needing someone else to be wrong encourages others to become defensive and put pressure on us to keep defending. Yet, many of us spending a great deal of time and energy attempting to prove that we are right and others are wrong. And many people consciously and unconsciously believe that it is somehow their job to show others how their position, statements, points of view are incorrect. And that in doing so, the person they are correcting is going to somehow appreciate or at least learn something wrong. Think about it. Have you ever been corrected by someone and said to person who was trying to be right, thank you so much for showing me that I'm wrong and you're right. Now I see it. Why, you are great. And has anyone you know ever thank you? Or even agreed with you when you corrected them or made yourself right at their expense? Of course not. The truth is, all of us hate to be corrected. We all want our position to be respected and understood by others. Being listened to and heard is one of the greatest desires of human heart. And those who learn to listen are the most loved and respected. Those who are in a habit of correcting others are often resented and avoided. It is not that it is never appropriate to be right. Sometimes you genuinely needed to be or want to be. Perhaps there are certain philosophical positions that you don't want to budged on such on when you hear resist comment. Here it is important to speak your mind Usually, however, it is your ego creeping and running otherwise peaceful encounter, a habit of wanting or needing to be right. A wonderful and heartfelt strategy for becoming more peaceful and loving is to practice allowing others to enjoy being right. Give them the glory. Stop correcting and as hard as it may be changing this habit. It's worth any effort and practices it takes. When someone says, I really feel it's important to, rather than jumping in and saying, no, it's more important to, or any of the hundreds of the other forms of conversational editing. Simply let it go and allow their statement to stand. The people in your life will become less defensive and more loving. They will appreciate you more than you could ever have dreamed possible. Even if they don't exactly know why, you will discover the joy of participating in and witnessing other people happiness, which is far more rewarding than about a battle of egos. You don't have sacrifices your deepest philosophical truths or most heartfelt opinion, but starting today, let others to be let others be right most of the time. Number 13, became more passion. The quality of passion goes a long way towards your goal of creating a more peaceful and loving self. More passions you are, the more accepting you will be of what is, rather than insisting that life be exactly as you would like to be. Without passion, life is extremely frustrating. You are easily annoyed, bothered, or irritated. Passions adds a dimension of ease and acceptance to your life. It's essential for inner peace. Becoming more passion involves opening your heart to be the present moment. Even you don't like it, you are stuck in traffic jam, late for an appointment. Opening to the moment would mean catching yourself building a mental snowball before your thinking go out of hand and gently. Reminding yourself to relax. It might also be good time to breathe as well as an opportunity to remind yourself that in the bigger scheme of things, being late is small stuff. Passions also involve seeing the innocence in the other. My wife carries, and I have two young children, ages 4 and 7. On many occasions while writing this book, our 4-year-old daughter has walked into my office and interrupted my work, which can be disruptive to writer. What I have learned to do most of the time is to see the innocence in her behavior rather than to focus on potential implications of her interruptions. I won't get my work done. I lost my train of thought. This was my only opportunity to write today. And so forth. I remind myself why she is coming to see me because she loves me, not because she is conspiring to ruin my work. When I remember to see the innocence, then I immediately bring forth of feelings of passions, and my attention is brought back to the moment, and any irritations that may have been building in eliminated, and I am reminded once again of how fortunate I am to have such beautiful children. I have found that if you look deeply through, though, you can always see the innocence in other people as well as in potential frustrating situation. When you do, you will become more peaceful person. In some strange way, you begin to enjoy many of the moments that used to frustrate you. Number 14. Create passion, practice, period. Passion is a quality of heart that can be greatly enhanced with a deliberate practice. An effective way that I have found to deepen my own passion is to create actual practice periods of time that I set up in my mind to practice the art of passions. Life itself becomes a classroom, and the curriculum is passion. You can start with a little as 5 minutes and build your capacity for passions. Over time, start by saying to yourself, okay, for the next 5 minutes, I won't allow myself to be bothered by anything. I'll be passionate. What you will discover is truly amazing. Your intention to be passionate, especially if you know it is only for a short while, immediately strengthen your capacity for the passions. Passion is passion is one of those special qualities where success feeds on itself. Once you reach little milestone, 5 minutes of successful passions, you will begin to see that you do indeed have the capacity to be passion even for a longer period of time over time, and you may even become a passion person. Since I have younger children at home, I have many possibilities to practice the art of passions. For example, on a day when both girls are firing questions at me, as I am trying to make important phone calls, and I'll say to myself, now is a great time to be patient. For the next half hour, I'm going to be as passionate as possible. See, I have worked hard. I am up to the 30 minutes. All kidding aside, it really works. And it has worked in our family as I keep my cool and don't allow myself to be annoyed and upset. And I can calmly yet firmly direct my children's behavior for more effectively than when I get crazy. The simple act of getting my mind into worldly passions allows me to remain in the present moment for more than I would if I were upset, thinking about all the time that sometimes that this has happened before and feeling like I'm more tired. What's more, my passions feelings are often contagious. They rub off on the kids who then decide on their own, and that is no fun to bother that. Being passionate allows me to keep my practice my perspective. I can remember even in the midst of difficult situations that what's before me. My present challenge isn't life or death, but simply a minor obstacle that must be dealt with. Without passions, the same scenario can become major emergency, complete with yelling, frustration, hurt feelings, and high blood pressure. It's really not worth all, all that. Whether you are needing to deal with the children, your boss, or difficult person or situation, if you don't want to sweat the small stuff. Improving your passions level is a great way to start. Number 15. Be the first one to act loving or reach out. So many of us hold on a little resentments that may have stemmed from arguments or misunderstanding and the way we are raised or some others painful events, and stubbornly we wait for someone else to reach out to us, believing this is the only way we can forgive or rekindle a friendship or family relationship. An acquaintance of mine whose health isn't very good recently told me that she hasn't spoken to her son in almost 3 years. Why not? I asked. She said that she and her son had disagreement about his wife, and she wouldn't speak to him again unless he called first. When I suggested that she be the one to reach out, she resisted initially and said, I can't do that. He is the one who should apologize. She was literally willing to die before reaching out to her only son. After a little gentle encouragement, however, she did decide to be first one to reach out. So, to her amazement, her son was grateful for her willingness to call and afford an apology of his own. As usually case when someone takes the chance and reaches out, everyone wins. Whenever we hold on to our anger and we turn small stuff into the really big stuff in our mind, we start to believe that our possessions are more important than our happiness. They are not. If you want to be more peaceful person, you must understand that being right is almost never more important than allowing yourself to be happy. The way to be happy is to let it go and reach out. Let other people be right. This doesn't mean that you are wrong. Everything will be fine. You will experience the peace of letting go. As well as the joy of letting others to be right, you will also notice that as you reach out and let others to be right, they will become less defensive and more loving toward you. They might even reach back, but if for some reason they don't, that's okay too. You will have the inner satisfaction of loving that you have done your part to create more loving world, and certainly you will be more peaceful yourself. Number 16. Ask yourself the question, will this matter a year from now? Will this matter a year from now? Almost every day I play a game with myself that I call time bomb. I made it up in response to my consistent, enormous belief that I was all worked up about my really important playtime bomb. All you have to do is imagine that whatever circumstances you are dealing with isn't happening right now, but a year from now. Then simply ask yourself, is this situation really as important as I'm making it out to be? Once is a great while it may be, but a vast majority of the time it simply isn't. Whether it be an argument with your spouse, child, or boss, a mistake, a lost opportunity, a lost wallet, a work-related rejections, a sprinted ankle, chances are a year from now you aren't going to care. It will be one more irrelevant detail in your life. While this simple game won't solve all your problems, it can give you an enormous amount of needed perspective. I find myself laughing at things that I used to take for too seriously. Now, rather than using my energy feeling anger and overwhelmed, I can use it instead and spending time with my wife and children or engaging in creative thinking.